So the objective of this mission is to enter a watermelon festival by rolling over a giant watermelon of your own. The only obstacle here being these ducks and the wind, I guess. If you pick the first watermelon you see, they actually bait you with that one, saying it's too tiny.
No, they're just rumors, please!
The real watermelon you'd want to enter is all the way back here. Though, story-wise, it actually doesn't make much sense that the other contestants wouldn't bring it in themselves. Like, it's not like it's going to be that much trouble to... funny. Well, no problem. We have a little pathway right here. We can just slowly roll up our watermelon. Though it really wants to roll off the edge here and do whatever this is. That was pretty short-lived, but we're pretty close to the front from here. Maybe if we can just roll it a little towards here. Okay, so maybe the long way is the best way. Roll the watermelon down here within our view, knock out the ducks, and just see if we can quickly roll it past. Alright, well, we could give that another try. Give this another try, this time being far ahead of the watermelon as it rolls down and making sure to stomp out the ducks, removing all possible threats that... Okay, get far in front, take out the ducks, take no edge or corner for granted, and... I'm actually genuinely surprised that's still in one piece. And now it becomes a game of a spray to ducks, roll the melon, spray to ducks, roll the melon, ducks, melon, ducks, melon, ducks for good measure, and the final challenge of navigating the melon with barely any wiggle room on this bridge. Yeah, damn right it's big. Don't you forget it! Alright, moving on to Yoshi's True Adventure, Rico Harbor's last mission. It's kind of a trend that they made these missions their last in their respective worlds. I wonder why. So much like the Watermelon Festival, this is something of an escort mission, but this time around you have to get Yoshi up to that delicious, moving cheese. Gotta make our way to the fruit chute to get ourselves a durian. Then we can get Yoshi to turn these fish into moving platforms. And then when we get over here, we can make another platform to get Yoshi up, and he dissolves. Oh, I know the problem. We were using Yoshi Purple Edition. Well, we should have been using Yoshi Pink Edition. Never mind that this coconut tree is somewhat out of my field of view and that you can barely make this jump. So now that that's solved, we can get up here no problem. I just wanted you to watch me dissolve slowly. Yeah, I realize I'm kind of sucking at this, and that's due to the platform's height being in relation to when I sprayed the fish. That's no problem, some trial and error is okay. But since it's almost inevitable for this mission to require some sort of learning and practice, could they not have made the fruit section more streamlined? You have to alternate between the two buttons to spawn random fruit. There's no set pattern that will guarantee you a durian, so you have to keep ground pounding until you get it. But there's also a limit to 4 fruit at a given point, so if you're on your 4th fruit and it's not a durian, you have to get down there and remove the existing fruit before you can go up and repeat that process. And better yet, if you spawn something like a banana, that can act like a tiny slope and bounce the potential durian right off the edge. Also, Mario can only move durians by kicking it, but you can accidentally kick it off the edge when you're trying to position yourself to get it to the Yoshi. That's my only big problem with this mission, though mind you, it's a problem that only amplifies every other frustration, like getting the hang of creating platforms and gauging Yoshi's jump. But soon enough, you do get the hang of this and you're up there in no time. Well, we made it. Thanks for the help, buddy. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the hub world. So much like Peach's Castle, Island Delfino is a traversable play area, which is our means for entering and discovering new worlds and levels. And not just to be a glorified level select screen, you can do various tasks and open up new areas. There's also like a connected sewer system for some reason. I guess it helps you get from place to place a little faster, but I don't know how necessary that was. Unless we're talking about clipping out of bounds, but we'll talk about that later. Now, the best thing about Delfino is that it looks like a real island. And I don't mean it looks like a real place, I mean, look at that texture detail, for God's sake. But look at the layout, the people, there's an atmosphere, and it gives the impression of a living, breathing world. The prospect of sentient beings being trapped inside my GameCube is tantalizing. Even though hub worlds existed in the Galaxy games, they were arguably done worse, or at the very least they were a lot less interesting. And Odyssey doesn't even have hub worlds, so Sunshine is our prime example for this. So one of the many things you can do in this village is put fruits into baskets, which does not sound very interesting at all, but let me get to it. Now, you don't get an actual shine sprite for doing these, but I feel like they're a great example of presenting a challenge that requires problem solving without frustrating the player. The first villager that wants 3 bananas is probably the lesser of the 4, since the bananas don't really carry any interesting physical properties. Unless we're talking about performing certain glitches with them, but again, we'll get to that later. You're just carrying them from point A to point B, it's nothing remarkable, but it's easy, so no harm, no foul. Then there's a villager on this secluded island that wants 3 coconuts. You just gotta shoot them with water and knock them down. If you shoot them a certain way, they can bounce off and roll into the water, but that's okay because they respawn right away. It doesn't punish you for making an inevitable oversight. Then there's this lady that wants durians, the ones from before that Mario can only kick. So here you're presented with a problem of figuring out how to get over this gap. The durian spawn point actually isn't that far from where you need to kick it over, so it allows you to experiment with its physics without an extensive reset. And that's really appreciated because, yeah, they're kind of wonky, but that's forgivable because the game doesn't impose on you with a grueling task built around it. Then lastly, this gal here wants pineapples. Why does she want them up that high? Well, have you never eaten a pineapple that was sitting up high in a basket in the hot sun? Let me know down below with a comment and I will read it and wince. So much like the durian basket, you're left to experiment to find a solution. Presumably, it's expected that you just lob it in, but you can also try for more creative solutions. So why talk about something as arbitrary as putting fruit into some lady's basket? What am I, a Boy Scout? Helping old lady Beatrice cross the street? Well, I don't know about that, but I think it's at least interesting to point out that these non-essential tasks were better thought out than some actual design missions in the game. Maybe this was just a case of misplaced effort, or maybe this was a case of effort being placed into an area where the majority of players would actually be. And that's not to say that nothing in the hub world didn't get that effort and attention, because there are certain sections that feel like they were specifically designed to be the path less traveled, as to avoid having most people experience them.